You're listening to an audio recording of an article written by Alison Richards, the Food Safety Girl, originally published in the Jamaica Observer. The title of this article is National Treasure or Toxic Treat: The Food Safety Story of Ackee. This article explores Ackee's dual identity as both a cherished symbol of Jamaican culture and a potentially deadly food, highlighting its historical roots, toxic risks, safety regulations, and the ongoing importance of informed harvesting and preparation. For many Jamaicans, breakfast isn't complete without the classic national dish, ackee and saltfish, served with fried dumplings, green bananas, or roasted breadfruit. Ackee, Blighia sapida, with its buttery texture and mild, nutty taste, is more than just a food. It's a symbol of national pride. Officially declared Jamaica's national fruit in 1962, ackee is celebrated in music, literature, and everyday life. Yet, beneath the vibrant yellow arils lies a toxic truth. If improperly harvested or prepared, ackee can become dangerous, even deadly. A colonial import with deep roots. Though deeply woven into Jamaican identity, ackee is not originally native to the island. The fruit was brought to Jamaica from West Africa, likely aboard slave ships in the 18th century. Its name is derived from the Akan language spoken in parts of Ghana, and it quickly became a staple food in Jamaican households. Ackee trees flourish in Jamaica's tropical climate, bearing fruit twice per year, once from January to March and again from June to August. The fruit grows in bright red pods which, when mature, split open naturally to reveal 3 shiny black seeds nestled in creamy yellow arils. This natural smile is not just a sign of ripeness. It's the first and most critical safety signal for knowing when ackee is safe to eat. The science behind the poison. When ackee is consumed before it has fully ripened and opened on its own, it can contain dangerously high levels of hypoglycin A, a naturally occurring toxin found in the seeds and unripe arils. This compound is heat stable, meaning even cooking won't destroy it if the fruit is picked too early. Ingestion of hypoglycin A can lead to Jamaican vomiting sickness, a serious and potentially fatal illness. The condition causes sudden vomiting, followed by a steep drop in blood sugar, also known as hypoglycemia, which can lead to convulsions, coma, and death. The illness is particularly dangerous for children and people with weakened immune systems. The toxin concentration decreases significantly once the fruit naturally ripens and the pod splits open. That's why food safety authorities stress the importance of waiting until the fruit opens on its own before harvesting and consuming it. The risk is so significant that international food regulators, like the US Food and Drug Administration, have implemented strict controls for processed ackee. From danger to delicacy. Processing canned ackee. To ensure both local and international safety, Jamaica has established rigorous standards for canned ackee, which is widely exported to countries with large Jamaican diasporas, such as the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. The preparation process involves waiting until the fruit has opened naturally, carefully removing the seeds and pinkish membrane, which also contains hypoglycin, thoroughly washing the arils. The ackee is then packed in brine and sterilized under high heat in sealed cans, significantly reducing the risk of toxicity. These procedures are overseen by the National Compliance and Regulatory Authority, and only companies that meet international export requirements are permitted to ship ackee abroad. This rigorous approach helped lift a 27-year U.S. ban on ackee imports, first implemented in 1973 due to concerns about hypoglycine content in canned products. Today, ackee exports contribute to an estimated $15 million US annually to the Jamaican economy, making it not only a cultural but also a commercial treasure. Jamaica remains the only country in the world allowed to export canned ackee to the US under strict regulatory oversight. Ackee poisoning still happens. Despite all the education and safety guidelines, ackee poisoning is still a real and present danger, particularly in rural and informal settings where food safety standards may be poorly followed or unknown. In January 2025, health officials in Manchester confirmed 5 cases of suspected ackee poisoning, including the death of an elderly man who had consumed boiled ackee from a street vendor. Investigations revealed that the fruit had been harvested prematurely, and while it was cooked, the presence of hypoglycine likely remained high. A growing concern is the practice of vendors forcibly opening unripe ackee pods to sell the arils before the fruit has naturally split. This deceptive act bypasses nature's built-in safety mechanism and exposes consumers to dangerously high levels of hypoglycin A. This is a form of food fraud, intentionally compromising food safety for financial gain while misleading consumers into believing the product is safe. Between 1989 and 1991, 38 cases of ackee poisoning were recorded in Jamaican hospitals, resulting in 8 fatalities, according to public health records. Most victims had consumed home-prepared ackee that had not been properly ripened or cleaned. While numbers have since declined, isolated incidents continue to emerge each year, often linked to informal vendors or poor handling practices. How to stay safe while enjoying ackee. For everyday consumers, enjoying ackee safely means following a few essential guidelines. The first and most important rule is to never consume ackee that hasn't opened on its own. Forcing the pod open before it smiles is a surefire way to increase your risk of poisoning. Once opened, only the yellow arils should be kept. The seeds and the pinkish red membrane must be discarded as they contain the highest concentration of hypoglycin. Even when boiling the fruit, never boil other foods in the same water as the ackee. That's a common mistake. Saltfish, dumplings, yams, and bananas should be boiled in separate pots. Boiling them all together can transfer residual toxins from the ackee to your other food. Those purchasing canned ackee should check that the product is from a reputable brand, sealed properly, and marked with the relevant food safety certifications. Damaged or swollen cans should always be discarded, as this may indicate spoilage or contamination. When buying ackee from street vendors or markets, it's important to ask about the source and preparation method. If the fruit appears overly firm, discolored, or sour smelling, it's best to avoid it altogether. Balancing heritage with health. Ackee is much more than Jamaica's national fruit. It's a symbol of resilience, adaptation, and culinary creativity. But as beloved as ackee is, its unique food safety risks require continued vigilance. In an era where foodborne illnesses remain a leading cause of hospitalization globally, proper education around ackee safety is essential. The legacy of ackee in Jamaica can and must continue to thrive. By respecting the natural indicators of ripeness, following food safety protocols, and promoting responsible harvesting and processing, we can ensure that future generations enjoy this treasured fruit without fear. To learn more about food safety in Jamaica, follow the Food Safety Girl on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube.